so tired. The day had stretched long in Wine's and Jungkook's life. Nursing the baby, burping, diaper changes, cuddles, crying, repeat. The baby had been extra clingy that afternoon. Her tiny hands refused to let go of Wine's shirt. Her lips sought Wine's breast even after long feeding sections. The doctor called it a growth spurt, but her body called it exhaustion. Still, she smiled through it because she chose to. Wine kissed her chubby cheeks when she first. She tried to sing lullabies with a dry throat. She also rocked the baby until her knees ached because Wine knew she is her mother, her safe place, her home. After nursing the baby for the third time in 4 hours, she finally laid the baby on the playmat. Her arms began to sore and breast started to ache. She leaned against the wall, watching her baby daughter kick her feet and coo at her toys. Wine's eyes stung because of sleeplessness. Her vision wobbled at sometimes, but she kept watching that tiny human in front of her with a smile. And then the baby looked up at her with joy eyes, those big, curious eyes, that gummy smile, that happy twinkle that when she recognized Wine's face was enough for her to forget about the sleeplessness she is going through. She laughed through her exhaustion and crawled to the mat, lying down the baby. "Hey baby girl," she whispered, brushing her nose against hers. "You are too cute to be so demanding, you know that?" The baby giggled in return, her little fist punching the air. Wine played with her fingers, jingled her belly, made silly faces that earned her high-pitched baby laughs. And just for a moment, the pain faded into the background. Wine kissed her soft forehead. "You are worth it, Angel. Even if Mama feels like she is falling apart inside, you are so worth it." A little while later, the baby started to fuss again. Wine sighed and shifted her in her arms, unburdening her talk for another feeding. "She is hungry again," she murmured to the air. "Of course she is." Wine didn't even hear him walk into the room until his hand landed gently on her shoulder. "You need to eat too, Mama," he said softly. Wine turned to look up at him. He had just woken up from a nap. Wine had insisted him to get some rest while the baby dozed earlier, but now he was here, watching her with concern painted all over his face. "I will eat later. She comes first, Jungkook. She is not the only one who needs care. You know that, baby moon?" he said gently, leaning down to kiss Wine's temple. "But okay, I will go make something for you and bring it here." Wine nodded faintly. She nursed for a while, then drifted off into a deep, milk-drunk sleep. Wine tucked her into the blanket and sat beside the crib. Her body began to sway slightly with fatigue. But just then, Jungkook returned, not with food yet, but with something else. The baby was starting to stir, and without hesitation, he leaned over, scooped her up to his arms, and started talking to the baby. In that goofy, adorable dad voice he only used when he thought Wine weren't looking. "Oh, there she is. Daddy's sleepy yet hungry girl. Did we give Mama a hard time today?" You did? Yeah, you look a little guilty." She gave a tiny hiccup and wiggled in his arms. He rocked her and bounced softly on his feet, walking her around the loop like he had done this 100 times. "I know your mummy is your favorite person," he whispered, pressing a kiss to her cheek. "But I hope one day you will know how lucky we both are to have her. She is doing so much for us. She is our whole world." Wine was standing near the doorway, watching the scene unfold. Something in her chest pulled tight. She saw the way he looked at the baby. Also, she heard the way he talked about her to the daughter. And it all just hit her so hardly. All the love, pressure, hormones, the pain she had been hiding, all the tired nights and cracked nipple and skipped meals, the fear of not being enough, the guilt of not being perfect, the beauty of motherhood, the overwhelming softness of seeing Jungkook fall in love with their baby just as how he fell for her. Her heart clenched, her knees buckled, and her vision went black. Baby! Jungkook saw it in a flash. The way Vine's body tilted, the way her head dropped forward. He dropped to his knees before she hit the ground, catching her just in time, wrapping his arms around her. She head fell against his shoulder. Oh my god, no, 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 no. Sweetheart, look at me. She didn't respond. Her breathing was shallow and her skin cold. He clutched her body with one arm and cradled the baby in another, rushing both of them. He laid her down, heart hammering, panic laced into every word. Baby, come on, open your eyes, please. Please, I need you. She stirred a little, her voice was hoarse. I saw you with the baby, and I don't know, everything got heavy. He kissed her forehead and her lips over and over again. You fainted, love. You fainted. You have been pushing too hard. I should have done more. I should have made you rest. No, she whispered, eyes fluttering open. Don't blame yourself. I will blame myself if I don't take better care of you, he whispered, sitting the baby down and cupping Vine's face. From now on, you come first too. You hear me? You are not just her mother, you are my wife, my everything. Vine began to cry again, quiet, broken sobs. I just didn't want to let either of you down. You didn't, he said fiercely. You could never. You are the reason she sleeps safe. You are the reason I believe in something greater. He pulled her close, resting her head on his chest. You don't have to do it all. Not alone. I'm here. Every diaper, every cry, every night. Vine whispered brokenly. I just wanted to be strong. He looked down at you with glossy eyes. You are, but you are even the strongest. Hearts need a little rest. Let me be your strength tonight. And so, she let go of the pain and guilt to be safe in his arms. The next day, Vine woke up to stillness, a strange, beautiful kind of stillness that felt like it had been earned. Her eyelids were heavy, but she could tell something was different. For the first time in days, she didn't wake up to crying or to aching breast or to the familiar pull of anxiety about the next feeding. Vine blinked slowly. Her body was wrapped in warm blankets. The curtains were still drawn, but soft morning light filtered in through. And she noticed something. The bed beside her was empty, but the couch across the room, her heart swelled. Jungkook was curled up sideways, still in his old hoodie and joggers, hair a little wild, his body slouched awkwardly, but there she was. The tiny daughter lay sprawled on his chest, drool pulled at the collar of his shirt, her legs tucked up like a sleepy frog, and his hand was softly patting her back in rhythm, his lips brushing over the top of her head as he spoke in a whisper, barely audible. Mummy worked so hard, didn't she? A buzz and a kiss to her crown. She loves you more than the old sky. You know that? Another buzz, and his voice cracked gently. She gave everything to grow you, feed you, hold you, and she didn't complain once. I don't know how she does it. I'm the luckiest man in the world to love her. Vine's throat tightened hearing his words. She didn't mean to make a sound, but her breath hitched and he heard it. He looked up instantly, his eyes widened when he saw her awake. Hey, hey, my beautiful wife. Good morning, he said softly, not wanting to jostle the baby as he carefully sat up straighter. You slept almost 6 hours. That's the most since she was born. Vine sat up slowly, still tired but feeling lighter, safer. I can't believe you wouldn't wake me, he smiled. Wasn't about to. You needed it. Wine looked at the two of them, her entire universe bundled together. She is so peaceful with you. She is her mother's daughter, he said, gazing down at her, strong, needy, beautiful, fierce. He looked back at you, also a little demanding when she is hungry. Vine laughed through a sniffle, brushing tears off her cheeks. I saw you holding her last night before I fainted. His smile faded into something gentler. Yeah, at the scariest moment of my life, I remember hearing a voice. You sounded so broken. I was, he admitted. I kept thinking, how could I let her fall? While she's been holding up all of us. She didn't answer right away. She just looked at him. That man. That man who got up at 2 a.m. feedings, who learned how to fold tiny onesies, who massaged your back with swollen fingers and whispered praises while she cried through cracked nipples. That man who now looked at her like she was sacred. I think I fell in love with you all over again last night, she whispered. He held her gaze. Then, I think I fell in love with you deeper, watching you fight for her, and still smile at me through it. I have never ever respected anyone Vine blinked away the mist in her eyes. Will you come here? He smiled and stood, carrying their sleepy daughter over like she was the most precious thing in the world. He laid the baby between them gently, both on the bed, then slid in beside her, curling an arm around Vine's shoulder. And for the next hour, the three of them just lay there as a family, soft baby breaths, forehead kisses, whispered I love yous. At one point, Vine looked at him and said quietly, I was scared this would break me. He brushed her hair back. It didn't. I thought I would lose myself. You didn't. You just became more you. She looked down at the baby's chest rising and falling, then leaned into his arms and whispered what she had hardly just realized. I'm so glad it was you I came home to when I fell. He pressed a long kiss to her lips. You will always have my arms, love, even if you fall 1,000 times more. The next week, Vine stood at the stove, the spoon shaking in her little hand as she stirred the pot. It wasn't anything special, just some plain khichdi, the kind her mom used to make when she was sick. The baby was finally asleep, the laundry could wait, and her chest felt sore from the fainting spell some night before came to her. But she insisted that she needed to feel normal again. Vine needed to do something that felt like her. The smell of turmeric and ghee wafted through the kitchen, but her knees, they felt like jelly. Vine grabbed the edge of the counter just as the word brittled again. Whoa, sit down, right now. She turned. He was already beside her, one hand steadying her back, the other taking the spoon gently from her hand. I'm fine, she whispered, swallowing the dizziness. He raised a brow, eyes soft but firm. You are not, and you don't have to be pretend with me. She looked away, her cheeks were flushing. I just wanted to feel useful. I feel like I have ever since the baby come, all I do is feed, cry, repeat. His hand cupped her jaw. Hey, what you're doing is useful. It's everything. She sniffled. I want to cook something for you. You have been doing so much. And he kissed her forehead. Then cook it with me, but from here. And just like that, he lifted her onto the counter and put her there. She yelped, Hey, what are you? Taking care of you? What else? He said with a teasing smirk, placing the spoon back into the pot as he stirred with one hand and kept the other around her thigh to steady her. Vine sat there, legs dangling, watching him cook, watching him move like he is trying to seduce her. She quickly shake the thoughts from her mind. watching him hum a silly tune under his breath and blow on the spoon to taste the rice. She couldn't help it. She smiled through her watery eyes. You are good at this. He turned toward her, still tearing with his little hand. At making khichdi, he smiled and winked at her. No, but at being a husband, a dad, a soft place to fall. His smile softened too. You make it easy. You are kind of my whole world. Kind of? No, my whole world. She leaned forward and rested her head against his shoulder. I love watching you with her, you know. The way you rock her, the way you talk to her, like she is magic. She is magic. You both are. He scooped up a spoonful of food and blew gently, then turned to her. Open, he said. She blinked. Seriously, husband? Yep, wifey. Let me feed you. Vine rocked her eyes playfully but opened her mouth. He felt her the bite and watched her face. Good? He asked. Vine nodded slowly. Really good. Maybe you should be the one cooking from now on. He chuckled. Deal if you sit on the counter like this every night. She nudged him with her toe. What? You like having me hopeless and close? He grinned. I like having you close, period. Vine felt quiet for a second, just watching the man she married, the one who thought carry her through her labor, through midnight tears, through moments she didn't even have words for. I don't know what I would do without you, she said, voice barely a whisper. He looked up at her and walked over, placing the spoon down. He stood between her legs, one hand on her waist and the other brushing her hair back as he tilted her. You will never have to find out. I'm not going anywhere. Not when you're strong, not when you're falling, not when you burn the rice or cry on the bathroom floor. I'm staying. She broke. The tears came again, but now fast and quiet, and he kissed them away. I love you, she whispered. And I love you more, he replied, resting his forehead to hers. But tonight, let's not argue about it. Just let me love you, let me feed you, let me carry you the way you have carried all of us. She nodded and sat there while he finished the meal, while he spoon-fed her from the pot, while he made her laugh, while the baby stayed asleep in the next room.